With transfer deadline day fast approaching, a very busy few days lay ahead for Arsenal Football Club. So let's find out today whether they have reached an agreement to sign a new goalkeeper. Have Arsenal also made Alexander Isak their top striking target? And have the Gunners lodged a £30 million bid for a Premier League midfielder? Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Bows14 and welcome back to your boys channel. This transfer window now is starting to get very interesting. Us Arsenal fans are starting to panic, but my friends, as always, smash a like on the video if you enjoy, subscribe to the channel if you are new, as your boy is on the road to 80,000 subscribers. But let's get into the Arsenal transfer news, and starting off with Arsenal's confirmed transfers. Now, going into this transfer window, us Arsenal fans made it clear we wanted to see Arsenal sign a brand new central midfielder and also potentially a brand new centre forward. But with only a few days left of this window, Arsenal are closing in deciding a goalkeeper. Because as confirmed by the reliable Athletic, Arsenal have agreed a deal for New England Revolution to sign goalkeeper Matt Turner in the summer. And even Mr. Here We Go Fabrizio Romano says that Arsenal are closing in on Matt Turner signing from New England Revolution, as Taylor Tolman reports and the club sources have confirmed. Fee expected to be around €7 million plus €3 million in add-ons. Personal terms have already been agreed, final details, and then it's a done deal. So Arsenal have agreed a deal in terms of fee, agreed personal terms, and ultimately this is basically a done deal. Arsenal are signing USA international goalkeeper Matt Turner. He of course was last year's MLS Goalkeeper of the Year, and essentially he will be Arsenal's brand new backup goalkeeper for Aaron Ramsdale, as Bert Leno looks set to go to Newcastle. And this was confirmed by Christian Falk, who confirms that Newcastle want Bert Leno and the German international player is interested. Now, in terms of Matt Turner himself, I can't give you guys any specific information because I don't watch the MLS, but the fact that he's 27 years of age and Arsenal have identified him, even in terms of Man City in the past, they have signed keepers out of MLS, and right now their backup goalkeeper is a player out of the MLS, also a US international. But let's make it clear, this is a transfer that Arsenal have pre-agreed for the summer transfer window. But a signing is a signing, my friends, so let me know your own thoughts on Arsenal agreeing a deal to sign US international Matt Turner. Are you for it or are you against it? Now, here's a bit of surprise confirmed transfer news, because Aston Villa have confirmed the signing of Calum Chambers on a 3.5-year contract. In terms of Arsenal, they say thank you for the FA Cup and Community Shield, thank you for everything, Calum Chambers. And in terms of the player, he says 7 years and a lifetime of memories later, a special thanks to Arsene Wenger for making it possible, and to all the staff at London Colney. And last but not least, to all the fans that have supported me, you've made this experience one to remember. Out of nowhere, like an RKO, Calum Chambers has been confirmed as a player for Aston Villa, and Arsenal are going to get a cheeky little transfer fee. Because as James Bench confirms, Chambers' sale could be worth up to £2 million, including add-ons and salary saved. So while it is a transfer fee and money is still money, and £2 million for us is a lot of money, for Arsenal and a player that Chambers is, I think Arsenal could have potentially done a little bit better. Saying that, of course, Chambers' Arsenal contract was set to expire at the end of the season, but according to reports, Arsenal also had a 1-year option to extend in Chambers' contract, which Arsenal of course did not activate. He's gone to Aston Villa, so best of luck to Calum Chambers. But for Arsenal, now that it's now so many wages off the books, Calum Chambers, Pablo Mori, Maitland-Niles, Sead Kolasinac, surely Arsenal have to now sign a player. But will that be Juventus' Artur Melo? Well, according to David Ornstein, he says that Arsenal's chances of Artur on loan are diminishing. They want to sign him until the summer. Juventus won an 18-month deal. Edu and Chiburini eventually aligned on an 18-month plus buy option at around €40 million, but the Arsenal hierarchy were reluctant. As things stand, it is not happening. So according to the reliable David Ornstein, the Artur Melo deal is now starting to fall apart, because despite Edu Gaspar agreeing a deal with the Juventus hierarchy, the higher-ups at Arsenal Football Club, the Arsenal board, have refused to give the go-ahead on this transfer, which first things first is massive, because the fact that Edu got this deal done and still Arsenal said no to it, maybe it confirms that the Arsenal higher-ups have doubts over Edu Gaspar. But with the Artur Melo deal now stalling, are Arsenal going to move on to another Brazilian, and that being Lyon's Bruno Guimaraes? Well, on that today we have a massive update, because according to Fabrizio Romano, Newcastle and Olympique Lyonnais have reached an agreement for Bruno Guimaraes after a meeting. He understands the fee will be €40 million plus €8 million in bonuses. Bruno is finally one step away. Once agent fees will be agreed, Newcastle will send one staff member to Bruno to undergo his medical in Brazil. So a reported Arsenal transfer target, and a player that your boy has always been a massive fan of, is now set to go to relegation fighting but Saudi-rich Newcastle United. Ultimately speaking, in this transfer, Newcastle have made it clear they're coming with the money, they come with a hard cold cash, they've given it to Lyon, they've agreed this deal, and they've also offered to quadruple the wages of the player as well. And so in terms of Guimaraes, he's always wanted to come to the Premier League. This Despite the interest of Arsenal and other teams in this league, it's Newcastle that acted fastest, and Guimaraes of course is impressed by the wages and also their project. So even though Arsenal appreciate this player, if they really like this player, I'm sure they have the money and Arsenal could have spent it. And in terms of that price tag, as Fabrizio says, they were talking basically 50 million euros, and that is without the agent fees. So if you're then to add that on top of that, we're talking maybe up to 60 to 65 million euros, which is a very hefty transfer fee, which potentially Guimaraes might be worth, but in terms of Arsenal and the Arsenal board, they don't think he's worth that. And ultimately speaking, as much as us fans want to see Arsenal sign Guimaraes, it seems like Arsenal have other targets in mind, and those targets are in the Premier League. Now of course you have players like Yuri Tielemans and also potentially Wolverhampton Wanderers' Ruben Neves. But could Arsenal also make a really surprise move for Aston Villa's Douglas Luiz? Because according to the very reliable Jason Burt, a new bid of £32 million plus £3 million in add-ons for Douglas Luiz has been made, but Aston Villa do not want to sell. Now who has made this bid is unnamed so far, but Arsenal have had some confirmed interest by Fabrizio Romano. I don't think he's really a bad player, but I don't really think he's that guy to take Arsenal to the next level, just in your boy's opinion. And also for that sort of price, like, is he worth that with 18 months left in his contract? Now in terms of the profile of this player, he is 23 years of age and a full Brazilian international, and on the field he is a combative central midfielder with a fantastic engine and also a decent passing range as well. And in terms of Mikel Arteta, of course, he was actually a part of Man City when they signed Douglas Luiz back in 17-18 as well. But in terms of myself, I think this is more maybe the agent to the player, which of course is Kia Joubert, trying to get his clients a brand new contract at Aston Villa, because reports have already confirmed that Villa have open talks, they want to keep Luiz. Potentially I think Kia is using the name of Arsenal Football Club trying to get his client a better deal at Aston Villa. But that of course is just a thought, my friends. Let me know your own thoughts on Douglas Luiz, and is he a midfielder that you guys want to see Arsenal sign in this specific transfer window? Okay, moving on to Arsenal's pursuit of a brand new centre forward, and starting off with Mikel Arteta, who of course was seen in the US of A with the Arsenal owner Stan Kroenke, and the Mail have confirmed that Arteta flew to Denver on Monday to hold a transfer summit with Stan Kroenke ahead of the January transfer window's final week, with discussions between the two revolving around what to do with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and who they could sign as a replacement. So confirmation about a meeting between the Arsenal owner and the Arsenal manager, and it was all about a brand new centre forward. And in terms of Pierre, as Matt Law has confirmed, he's been left out of Arsenal's mid-season trip to Dubai as the club attempts to offload him before the transfer window shuts. But in terms of where he could go, according to James Bench, Al Nassr are refusing to give up on convincing Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang to move to Saudi Arabia, but so far they have not been able to secure an agreement with either club or the player. Aubameyang would prefer to stay in Europe for footballing and personal reasons. In terms of Al Nassr, they have actually offered Arsenal the best possible deal in terms of the transfer fee, loan fee, and also in terms of taking the player's wages. But in terms of the player, he wants to stay in the European game, and one club that could make a move is potentially FC Barcelona, because according to Dario Sport in Spain, Barcelona activate plan B. Aubameyang has been chosen by Xavi if Morata finally does not come, conditional only if Dembele is leaving before the 31st of January. Now for the player this does make a lot of sense, but in terms of Arsenal, Barcelona are in a financial disarray, so I highly doubt that they take on board Aubameyang's full £350,000 a week wages. But then again, if Arsenal do want to sign a brand new striker, I'm sure that meeting with Stan Kroenke would have involved getting Aubameyang out the door as well. So a massive few days for Aubameyang, but if they were to get him out of the door, in terms of potential replacements, let's just say it's not going to be Dusan Vlahovic, because as Fabrizio Romano has confirmed, Vlahovic to Juventus done deal, here we go. Total agreement with the player, agents and Fiorentina, €75 million fee add-ons included, and a €7 million net salary per season. The end of the Vlahovic transfer saga, we finally got it, here we go, but not for Arsenal Football Club. Vlahovic is going to stay in the Serie A like he wants to do, and he's going to Juventus. Now in terms of myself, I understand frustration, but I am actually not that hurt by this, because I've always said that I don't want to see Arsenal spend massive money on players that actually don't want to come to Arsenal unless they're convinced financially. No hard feelings, best of luck for me, because I've seen a few Arsenal fans say wishing injuries on Vlahovic, and so he wanted to stay in the Serie A. We tried our best, we agreed a deal with Fiorentina, we put the money on the table, we gave the player a fantastic financial offer, but the player ultimately wanted to stay in the Serie A, and now he's going to get that move. But with Dusan now off the table, will Arsenal make a move for Real Sociedad's Alexander Isak? Well, according to Fabrizio Romano, he says they love him, they literally love him. He is at the same level of Vlahovic in terms of appreciation, but it will be difficult in January January, as Sociedad are keen to keep him until the end of this season. So according to Fabrizio Romano, both Isak and Vlahovic were neck and neck when it comes to Arsenal's main striker priorities. But the key difference here is in terms of Vlahovic, he was openly available. Fiorentina made it very clear that if Arsenal offered the money, they could take the player. Whereas in terms of Sociedad and Isak, they don't want to let him go, and they've made it clear that unless Arsenal pay that £77 million release clause, he is going nowhere. But in terms of that stance on the price tag, I don't think that's going to change in the summer either. With that being the case, I would not be surprised if Arteta's meeting with Stan Kroenke had the agenda of Alexander Isak and his release clause, because with it being that release clause, Arsenal of course would have to pay that £77 million up front in a one-off instalment. But ultimately the question is Isak worth £77 million? Let me know your own thoughts on Alexander Isak, and is he a player that you guys want to see Arsenal sign? But talking about strikers, according to Gazzetta dello Sport in Italy, Napoli striker Victor Osimhen has become a target for Arsenal and Newcastle, with Napoli's president Aurelio De Laurentiis prepared to sell Osimhen for at least €70 million. Now in terms of Victor Osimhen, I am a massive fan, and I'm sure all of the Nigerian Arsenal fans will tell you how good this striker is. But in terms of that price tag there, I refuse to believe it, because €70 million is essentially what Napoli paid in the first place to sign Osimhen from Lille. And so with that being the case, and their president also being a very stern negotiator, I highly doubt how Arsenal can sign this player for that sort of money. But what do you guys make of Victor Osimhen, and out of all the strikers available on the transfer market, should Osimhen be Arsenal's go-to guy? Okay, let's move on to the other Arsenal news today, and starting off with Arsenal's Ivorian international and club record signing, we're talking Nicolas Pepe, who dispatched his penalty for the Ivory Coast in the knockout stage game against Egypt in the African Cup of Nations. But despite scoring that penalty and once again putting in a very standout performance, it was not enough for Ivory Coast to go through, who were knocked out on penalties by Mohamed El Neni's Egyptian team. And in terms of him during AFCON, he was on fire, scoring goals, getting assists, and once again showing his class. But ultimately speaking here, the key thing is, with Ivory Coast he gets a lot more space, whereas in terms of Arsenal in the Premier League, you're given a lot less space, and that is where Pepe ultimately struggles. But what do you guys make of the long-term future of Nicolas Pepe at Arsenal Football Club? William Saliba has been named in the League Team of the Week for the 8th time this season. 8-time Team of the Week. This guy's still 21 years of age. They call him the Mbappe centre backs. This guy is so consistent, and you know what? I'm so excited that he's still an Arsenal player. And on his Arsenal future, according to Kaya Kayanak of Football London, Saliba still intends to return to Arsenal at the end of the season, despite reports suggesting that he could join Marseille permanently in the summer. But in terms of Saliba himself on his future, he says, Arsenal, the only thing that I can tell you is I'm happy at Marseille, and this is positive. Everything is going well here. There will be discussions in the summer. We've got time to think about it. I think what Saliba says there is exactly what a player on loan is always going to say. If he comes out and confirms that he's going back to Arsenal, he's going to have massive disarray from the Marseille fanbase. So with that being the case, it's a very PR answer, but I understand it. But with Arsenal now letting go of Calum Chambers and also loaning out Pablo Mori, we only have 3 recognised centre-backs, that being Rob Holding, Gabriel and Ben White. That for me kind of confirms the space has been opened up for William Saliba, so when he comes back to Arsenal, he should be involved in the Arsenal first team going into next season. And finally, according to Adrian Kajumba of the Mail, Arsenal are set to play a behind the closed doors friendly against Reading on the return from the training camp in Dubai. The Arsenal first team are on a break right now in Dubai, taking photos, enjoying the sun, while us fans are panicking for transfers. But after this Premier League break ends, of course, Arsenal have a massive game against Wolverhampton Wanderers away. So it's massive the fact that Arsenal have both Xhaka and Partey both back again available, having served their suspensions. And potentially, maybe, just maybe, Arsenal also have a couple brand new signings. But that is the video then there. If you guys have enjoyed, make sure to go down there and smash a like on the video, and also do subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you would like to follow your boy on them social medias, then the links will be down below in the description. But that was the latest episode of the Transfers FC, and for Arsenal now a massive gargantuan few days lay ahead. What are they going to do? As per my friends, they're going to have to wait and see. Until then, I'll see you next time in a bit.